coaches participating in today's conference. The NCAA and USA South Athletic Conference promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We ask for your cooperation by supporting participants and officials in a positive manner. No banning racial or sexist comments or intimidating actions directed at coaches, players, officials, or any other team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. Also, consumption and possession of alcoholic beverages and tobacco use is strictly prohibited. Please stay away from the playing area and contact areas. Thank you for your cooperation. What tradition at Southern Virginia University, we will begin with a word of prayer which will be offered by Brooklyn Porter.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for this wonderful day that we have to come and watch and play basketball. We pray that as the game goes on, that everyone involved will be able to play to the best of their abilities and no harm or accident come upon us. We pray that when the time comes, the North Carolina Wesleyan will be able to travel home safely, and we love and say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Now, if you'd all please rise and face the flag for the playing of our national anthem.
Afternoon's basketball game. First, the visiting Bishops of North Carolina Wesleyan. At forward.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the barn of Southern Virginia University for today's NCAA Division III women's basketball matchup between the Battling Bishops of North Carolina Wesleyan and your Knights of Southern Virginia University. I'm Dawson Weeder, joined once again by my good friend Colby Kemp. And Colby, Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, Dawson. Glad you're feeling better and back on the broadcast with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in a couple of extra pounds of holiday weight. Never hurt nobody for myself. I'm speaking, obviously. Very, very exciting time. Again, beginning of a new year. Exciting time for everybody. Holiday seasons. I hope all of you enjoyed your holiday seasons over the past couple of weeks. And again, back to business, back to basketball. So excited to be back here at Southern Virginia for a conference matchup, USA South conference matchup between the Battling Bishops and the Knights. An exciting one nonetheless. These are two teams that rank both 4th and 5th in the conference. Knights being 4th and the Battling Bishops being 5th. Of course, still middle of the season, trying to get things going, trying to find out your positioning in the conference. But Colby, we were talking about before this game that it's kind of a struggle, or it's at least an interesting situation when you're coming back from break. Basketball season is broken into two. You have to kind of go back home, then come back, refocus on things. And so I guess there are good positives and minuses to that. Obviously, we're talking about that. We're talking about the fact that they're here before all the other students are here. So there's less of a crowd, obviously, as you see on the broadcast. But at the same time, you kind of can focus a little bit more when there's no other distractions around.
Absolutely. We talked about how this is kind of a second opening to the season. You know, everybody had the opportunity to go home, spend some time with family, and now come back. And they've been back on campus for just over a week and focus on what it is that you do as basketball players. And, you know, Wednesday afternoon, they had their first game. After that break, they hosted Pfeiffer here, and the Knights really came out on fire. You know, they hit 5 3-pointers to start the game, shot very well. The defense was good, so they got, you know, off to a very good start here for the new year. You know, when we look back, that was their first win in over a month.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think about. You talk about the great shooting to start off that game. A big trend with a lot of basketball teams as the tip-off starts. When you're coming out of a break like that, it's very easy to go into a shooting slump. It's very easy to get out of rhythm. Of course, the Knights did not fall into that trap as the Bishops have it to start off this game. And again, you talk about the great shooting from Southern Virginia in this game on Wednesday against Pfeiffer. Leading the way was one of the players on the floor, Abigail Snyder for Southern Virginia, as the Bishops get on the board first. And the Bishops themselves, even with the break, they're on a 4-game winning streak, really getting into their own here in this point in the season, which is the perfect time to do it. 3-pointer up and good from Presley Hagee. That's really great to see, as Hagee has put in a lot of great time throughout the season and has made some great defensive plays. But through a lot of the time she's seen on the floor, at least here in the barn, she had struggled with shooting, but to knock down that first shot of the game is really great to see.
Especially good as Hagee didn't really join in to the shooting the other day. She did come away with, I believe it was 7 assists on the night. But so good to see her get off to a good start with a shot there. As the Knights get a second bucket there by Courtney Olson.
Yeah, both teams so far executing their offenses very, very well. 2 trips, 2 scores. Here's the jump shot, that time from Charisma Harrison. Another basket for her. Harrison comes into this game averaging 8.7 points per game. One of the leading scorers for the Battling Bishops. Olson in the paint once again. Hagee, another jumper off the front of the rim. Rebounded that time by number 14, Arena Harris. Crazy layup up and in, somehow able to get that to fall. Here's Newman driving the lane, that time blocked. Recovered by Olson. Good pump fake, Newman up and in.
Newman.
And so far, again, only the second game back for Southern Virginia and the second game back for the Bishops as well after break. Neither team showing any signs of any struggling from shooting or executing offense. A great pump fake there from Nadia Simmons. Olson drives the lane, pump fake, tries to go up and under, is fouled.
the Battling Bishops, they're a very balanced attack. You got Nadia Simmons there. She's their leading scorer, but then you've got 4 other players that average 8 points and then a few others between 5 and 6 points. So very balanced attack by the Battling Bishops.
First free throw from Olsen is up and good. One of those other players that's been averaging over 8 points a game is Kanaya Cromartie, freshman from Smithfield, Virginia. But like you said, there are plenty of contributors offensively for the Battling Bishops as Olsen's second free throw falls and brings it back within 1. That corner 3, no good, rebounded by Olsen. Here's Newman, one-on-one opportunity, got some numbers with her. Here's Heggie. Camden trying to go and get it, ends up fouling Arena Harris in the process. So far in the early minutes of this one, the main thing that I'm noticing from both these teams is they do a great job in offensive transition. They are pushing the ball down the floor to set up their offense before the defense can really get back. And that looks like it's taken away by Camden. Tries to get it out to Newman. Looks like they'll call it out of bounds on Nadia Simmons. Got an early substitution here for North Carolina Wesleyan. This is number 23, Corinthian Williams checking in. Williams, the sophomore forward from Williamsburg, Virginia. Still a 1-point game. Great cut to the basket. I think Newman was surprised at how wide open she was.
Yeah, I think Addie'd love to have that one all over.
A jump ball brings it back to the Knights. I mean, that was just such a clean cut to the basket from Newman after the pass to Olsen. And like we both said, nobody within 6 feet of her when she got the ball. Knights have back. Heggie, fortunately, at the last second, looks to see the ball flying towards Newman for 3. That is good.
Pointer, Addison Newman.
You knew she was going to bounce back and nail that three-pointer right there.
Oh, absolutely. The wide open opportunity. She knows, hey, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. And we all know that she can knock down the 3. Newman gets her hand in there, taken away by Snyder. Dances up to Heggie. In the paint to Olsen. Great opportunity or a great look. Trying to get the Camden on the inside, but deflected at the last second. Another substitution for North Carolina Wesleyan and number 11, Kanaya Cromartie, the freshman from Smithfield, Virginia. And another substitution as well, number 24, Naisha Best, a senior from Goldsboro, North Carolina.
You like the unselfish play there by Courtney, but I think the coaches would have liked to see her go up with that.
I mean, senior center, right? I mean, you got to go up with that, especially when you have the height advantage, right?
Yep. And she was in front of the defender there that was trying to stop her. And she's going to pick up a foul here over the back, it looks like.
But so far, another thing that I've noticed is that both these offenses are doing a great job of utilizing pump fakes and dribble drives. And these defenses are really jumping at a lot of these pump fakes, which, of course, is making them that much more effective. Another takeaway by Snyder.
Oh, great look there by Snyder. Hits the cutting Camden through the paint.
Again, offensive execution on both ends of the floor has been fantastic so far for both teams. And again, we mentioned Snyder. So far, she's been more of a facilitator and a defensive presence. But in their game against Pfeiffer on Wednesday, you were here for that, she led the way with 24 points, a career high for her. Again, her career has only been so long, considering she's a freshman. But 24 points in a game like that in the conference game.
Yeah, 5 3-pointers she was able to knock down. And again, she had a good all-around game, too. That's not to say that she was only scoring out there, but she had a good game on the defensive side. Also facilitated as well, from her point guard position.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I was looking at when I was looking at the statistics of their game against Pfeiffer on Wednesday is the fact that there were a lot of categories where the Knights lost statistically, a lot of them. But the main one where they were victorious was rebounding. They got their hands on the board, and so far they've been doing a decent job at that, but also just executing offense just very, very well. And right now, defensively, Southern Virginia has really locked down North Carolina Wesleyan this past couple possessions, as again, the Battling Bishops took a lead with about, I think it was about 10-9, and then now the Knights have battled back 14-4, and are really trying to figure things out defensively.
Absolutely, and we've come to know that this Knights, the Lady Knights, the thing that they're going to do is they're going to pressure on defense. They're going to hit the boards. They have a height advantage, it seems, almost every game, and so you expect the rebounds, you expect the hustle plays, and when you get those types of plays, you're always going to be around. You're going to be in the game.
You absolutely are. And we talk about the height advantage. One player they will not have at their disposal who does add another height advantage is Ruth Kempler, freshman from St. Clarita, California. She is not active for today's game. Snyder wide open in the corner for three. Rattles in and out. Rebounded by number 11, Kanaya Cromartie. And is out of bounds on the Bishops. Goes back to the Knights. So the Knights will inbound it. Another great cut to the basket. Ripped out by Maxima Iglesias, but it'll stay with Southern Virginia. Knights needing to reset their offense. There's Alyssa McRolla getting fouled. That time by number 23, Corinthian Williams.
Corinthia Williams.
And a substitution for the Knights in number 0, Mariah Savoon, the freshman from Cary, North Carolina.
She also had a nice game the other night against Pfeiffer.
Savoon being one of the more consistent three-point shooters on the team as the shot clock winds down. Taken away by the Bishops, taken right back. But they're going to call a foul on Snyder. She was diving for the ball. They're going to say that she pushed number 11, Kanaya Cromartie.
Tough call there.
If we had access to the ability to review or look at those things in instant replay, maybe we'd have a little bit better say. But my first glance, I wouldn't necessarily have blown the whistle. But then again, I'm not as close as the ref is to that situation, so.
Still a tough call, loose ball, and she just went to the ground, and, so be it.
The game indeed goes on as the Bishops have it. Some good on-ball defense here from the Knights. Shot clock winding down. They're going to say a foul on the floor. I believe they're going to call that on McRolla. So North Carolina Wesleyan will have it under the basket. Shot is up and good for Nadia Simmons. First score in several possessions. Great pass to Newman. Pump fake, no good. Rebounded by the Bishops. Again, some great advancing passes down the floor for Southern Virginia. Just a couple occasions not able to connect. Tough shot, no good. Recovered by Olsen. McRolla needs to pull back. Cut to the basket for Snyder. And it's knocked out of bounds by Simmons. Some more substitutions for the Knights, including number 10, Emma Camden, coming back in once again, as well as number 13, Eve Schmalbeck. And we've mentioned it before, but whenever Eve Schmalbeck comes in, She doesn't make very flashy plays, but she makes very solid plays, as that layup no good from McRolla. But Schmalbeck is one of those that quietly stacks up more and more points as she just makes good plays, cuts to the basket,
25.
and puts herself in solid positions to make a play.
15th foul.
Again, like we always talk about, the hustle plays. So many of these Knight players, they're capable. It's it's an expectation. It's part of the program, the culture that Coach Schroeder has established here. Is you got to be willing to get to the ground.
And so early in the first half, I guess as we're coming close to the end of the first quarter, the Bishops are already in bonus. First free throw from number 23, Corinthian Williams, no good.
So definitely a little bit of a contrast to the way the game is being called tonight, as it was Wednesday afternoon. Both teams were able to play pretty freely.
Second free throw rolls in, brings it back within one. Also in the game for the Knights is number 1, J.D. O'Bray. And they're called a foul on O'Bray.
At the line.
And so back the line are the Bishops, this time number 11, Kanaya Cromartie. So already in the first quarter, you already have to be a little bit more careful because you don't want to give them free opportunities to score at the free throw line, which alters your thinking defensively and just in physicality. First free throw is good. Second free throw is up and good. The three from Camden off the right side, no good. Rebounded and fought for in the paint. It'll be a jump ball and goes back to North Carolina Wesleyan, while Addison Newman checks back in for the Knights.
Back in for the Knights.
Give Snyder a breather. Bringing it down the floor is number 21, Deanna Adams. The rushed shot, no good, but brought back into play by Kanaya Cromartie. Unable to extend the lead. Newman trying to get it into the paint to Schmalbeck, but it's knocked out of bounds as Courtney Olsen checks in for J.D. O'Bray. So now the Knights have Schmalbeck and Olsen in the game, as that is initially taken away by Deanna Adams. Jump ball once again, and it stays with the Knights.
Yeah, all of a sudden the Knights are having a little bit of difficulty with their passes. You have to fight a little bit more, open those passing lanes up.
It's such a contrast to the very beginning of the game where it seemed like any pass that our team wanted to make, they could with ease. Schmalbeck for three, knocks it down.
Schmalbeck.
No hesitation by her whatsoever. She caught that pass at the top of the key and knocked it down.
Yeah, she's not normally known as a three-point shooter, but as she displayed right there, she is capable when needed. They're called blocking foul on Camden.
Foul called on Emma Camden.
That is Camden's second foul.
Second personal. At the line shooting. Destiny Bell.
At the free throw line will be Destiny Bell.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of those types of fouls called here on Wednesday night, so the Knights are going to have to adapt to that and make sure they're playing position defense. As Bell knocks down the first one. Barrett Jessup is checked into the game for the Lady Knights.
Always great to see her on the floor as she's seen as very much a leader on this roster. Less than a minute to go in this first quarter. It's been a tight one. Also showing some fancy footwork up at the right hand. No good. Rebounded by Adams. Pass across the paint. Up and in. Strong finish from Carmarty. As now it's a 3-point lead for the Battling Bishops. Savoon up with the left hand. Crazy shot. Rattles out. And out of bounds off the foot of Schmalbeck.
A little unlucky there, Schmalbeck and Olsen both going for that, and I think Olsen knocked it off of Schmalbeck's foot.
Another substitution for North Carolina Wesleyan, this time number 24, Naisha Best. You see Southern Virginia kind of rattled here in the last couple minutes in this first quarter, not really confident in what they're doing, and obviously a lot of that credit due to North Carolina Wesleyan playing very staggering and tough defense. No shot clock. Blocked by Olsen out of bounds with 5.5 seconds left in this quarter.
I think sometimes it also is a reaction to the way the game's being called. You know, used to being aggressive. Got a couple players out with 2 fouls now, so you're kind of being just a little more careful.
Jump shot no good. Savoon has it. Has to launch it up. That's not going to get it. So the first quarter ends with the Bishops having a 20-17 lead after an exciting first couple of minutes. Offense started to be a little bit more difficult for both teams. It was a tale of really 2 halves of a quarter where at first it seemed like we'd be in for a high-scoring affair, which we very well might end up having. But at the end of that first quarter, both offenses really struggled to find their rhythm, get good quality shots, to pass it in the lanes they wanted to. It just really shows that great adjustments were made after those first couple minutes.
Absolutely. You're going to be able to start the game off kind of running your sets the way you want to, and as familiarity grows throughout the game, it's going to make you have to adapt to that. You know, as both teams are going to adapt to what the other team's doing.
Absolutely. And real quick, as we have a break between quarters, I want to remind you that this game, in part, is brought to you by our athletic partners, Straws Drinks and Eats here in Buena Vista, Virginia. Great place to get some nice treats, some good sodas. I've had my fair share of Straws Drinks and Eats. Maybe I've added a couple of pounds because of it, but you know what? They're happy pounds because Straws Drinks and Eats is a great place. Highly recommend. We appreciate Straws Drinks and Eats for partnering with Southern Virginia University Athletics. And you know, one thing that we haven't quite talked about yet, we talked about the fact that North Carolina Wesleyan has a 4-game winning streak and Southern Virginia had just broken a 3-game losing streak. Now, obviously, with that, North Carolina Wesleyan has a lot of confidence right now, very confident in their ability to come in, play their game, execute their offense, and create pressure on defense. And Southern Virginia, although they did get the win against Pfeiffer, they're trying to develop a sense of consistency. Throughout the year, they've kind of teetered around the 500 mark in their win-loss record, trying to find a breakthrough and get a consistent series of wins to build them up in conference. As a 3-point shot from Snyder is good. That'll definitely help.
That definitely helps.
That is Snyder.
And you can't overlook the fact, too, that you know the Knights are the defending conference champions, and everybody is gunning for you.
Right.
Even though you were picked second in the preseason, everybody still wants to take that piece of you if they can.
That is very accurate. It paints a big target on your back in any league, as that left hook is good. The friendly roll off the hand of Charisma Harrison. Snyder dribbles baseline, tries to kick it back out. Somehow recovered by Heggie. Then I call travel on her
Violation.
as she tried to step through, and I guess she must have switched her pivot foot down in the paint. Dribble between three defenders standing straight up. And they're going to say that one of the defenders tapped to number 4, Nadia Simmons, on the head on the shot,
That was on
sending her to the free throw line.
At the line, Nadia Simmons.
First free throw is up and rattles in. Here's a second free throw. That one rattles out, keeps the lead at 3. Heggie advances, tries to get it to Olsen. A little bit too strong on the pass. And in for her comes Alyssa McRolla.
Yeah, after a good start, the Knights just seem to be not quite connecting on offense right now. Seems like, just a step off from the rhythm from one another. The passes,
A good fight for the ball. Out of bounds on North Carolina Wesleyan. We were able to get an up-close look at that as people on the sidelines were saying, hey, that she touched it last, and in fact, that was indeed true. But you're absolutely right, Colby. It seems like there's just a rhythm issue with Southern Virginia offensively right now. Not able to really connect on cuts to the basket that were working so well. Jump shot from Olsen, rattles out no good. Goes out of bounds on the Knights. And although they're still trying to advance the ball down the floor, you can definitely tell that pacing is slow just a little bit, as obviously it will with fatigue. It's just bound to happen. But that rhythm's just not quite there.
No, like that long pass from Heggie to Olsen there is an example. Is
beautiful cut to the basket.
Bishop's get an easy layup there. It was just the pass was there, but the pass was on the wrong side of Olsen.
Right.
She had to reach back to try and get that. Just the little things like that.
It's like in football, if a quarterback just throws the ball a little too far to the outside to a wide receiver, they have to adjust which shoulder they go over, right? It completely changes the entire play. And so it's just literally a game of inches or even centimeters in some cases.
And in basketball, an incomplete, an incomplete pass, the play continues. It's not like in football where that's the end of the play.
Right.
It's a turnover or it, ends up with a loose ball. So, it's important that, the passes are crisp and on target and lets the offense flow.
Absolutely, as the Battle of Bishops now have it with a 5-point lead, 25-20, with just under 7.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Pump fake, off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Olsen. Olsen tried to advance it, doesn't have the numbers. Wisely decides to pass it out to Snyder. Olsen dribbles baseline, pump fake up at the right hand, and the foul.
Layup by Courtney Olsen.
I love plays like that because it was with a foul and with her offhand at the same time. That's one of the most difficult plays to make in basketball.
It was a very athletic play by Courtney there, taking that, and that's what they're going to need. It's not every game too that the Knights are playing against a legitimate, big,
right?
And number 25, that's Charisma Harrison. She's a good ball player, and so Courtney Olsen, she's got her hands full there.
And also with Kanaya Cromartie, who subs in for her as well. She's also a solid player, so either way, you have a big that can really compete. And that's knocked away by McRolla. She's got Camden on the opposite side. Pass it to her. Goes up strong, blocked that time by Deanna Adams. What a defensive effort from Adams. Here's a deep three. That is short. Basically counts as a pass to Simmons and is good for 2. That's like one of the hardest rebounds to prepare for because you don't expect a shot, even at any level, to air a ball. So you're boxing and trying to keep him out. And McRolla able to get that too. And brings the game back within 2. Camden trying to play a little pit pocket. Short jumper rebounded by McRolla. Advanced up to Snyder, up with the right hand and in.
From Newman.
So we're back to seeing what we saw at the beginning of the first quarter with the Knights. Advancing the ball down the floor, getting a player down the floor and getting a good accurate pass to them so they can make a play. Blocked by Olsen. Advance to Snyder once again. Olsen dribbles in with the left hand once again, no good that time. If she were to have knocked on the left-handed layup, I would have started just calling her a left-handed shooter. Let's be honest here. That would have been impressive.
Yeah, she got the one before that to roll. That one, I think, you heard Coach Schroeder, you had Abby Snyder there open in the corner there for a three-pointer. One pass over there that would have given the Knights some good momentum.
And so far, again, the Knights are doing a great job battling back, tying it up at 27 apiece. Just 5 minutes and 3 seconds left in this second quarter. And again, we've talked about the fact that the Knights have advanced it down the floor. They're immediately, as soon as they get their hands on the ball, they're looking down, seeing who's down there. Who can they get to the basket? Who can they get an accurate pass to? And especially after a winter break, right? Obviously, someone who's played basketball, it's really difficult to stay in basketball shape over a break like that. It's really difficult to maintain that while also maybe spending time with parents or, doing things the holiday season requires of you, I'll say.
All the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the fun stuff, it all starts with the food that's on the table.
Exactly. And so then you come back, and then now you're playing a style of basketball where you have to advance down the floor really fast. I mean, that's asking a lot of the players, but so far, they've done a decent job of keeping it up with it.
Oh, absolutely. That's the way the Knights play. That's not going to change. And like we said, they've cleaned it up a little bit here. The pass is a little bit more crisp, a little bit more on target, and that just allows everybody to keep moving in rhythm. And, the first pass may not end up at a shot, but if you get a good first pass in rhythm, now that player's ready to throw the second pass to another player in rhythm for a layup.
Absolutely, as that's tipped away, but McRolla tapped to Newman, who advances Savoon off the right hand, but she is fouled on the shot by number 24, Naisha Best. What a pass from Newman. Newman had number 11, Kanaya Cromartie, coming up right behind her, ready to steal it, and Newman kept her composure and saw the open lane, thread the needle to Savoon.
Yeah, with her left hand, you got to like the way Maria Savoon too attacks the basket. She did that several times the other night. Came away, she's a smaller player, but she's not afraid to go into that paint and try and find a way to get her shot off.
Second free throw up, off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Olsen, surrounded by defenders. Having to fight for it. They're going to call a foul, I think, on Olsen. As I believe number 22, Destiny Bell, found her way on the floor.
41 Colton, Olsen, second foul.
And that is her second foul, so not necessarily any room for concern yet. But as fouls always do, it's going to make you a little more cautious. Great effort from Olsen on the rebound, though. And that was disrupted by Olsen. Advanced up again to Savoon, who's got a double team. Picked up a rebound and gets it to McRolla and is fouled on the shot. That was close to being a disaster. Savoon picked up her dribble as soon as two defenders are coming at her, and that could have easily resulted in a turnover of some kind. But instead, McRolla will go to the free throw line.
The good thing was she kept that pivot foot. She kept stepping, looking for something, and she hit McRolla with a very nice pass there. She was cutting through the paint.
First free throw is up. Rattles out, no good. And the second free throw is also no good. So 0 for 2 from the line. Got to cut it to the basket. Weaves through the defenders. Up and in for Best. Advanced it to Newman. Shot clock now to 10. Newman has to dive on the floor to maintain it, but it'll be a jump ball and it'll go back to the Bishops. Got some substitutions for both sides now, including number 21, Deanna Adams. And for Southern Virginia, 2 substitutions, including number 10, Emma Camden, as well as number 13, Eve Schmalbeck.
You see, Dawson, one thing here I'm noticing, is the Knights continue to have good offense, early offense, but as it gets deeper into the shot clock, that's where the struggle's starting to happen a little bit. Just, you get down with 10 seconds or less, they're struggling to make those passes, finding the open player.
And that's a characteristic you see in a lot of younger teams as well, is that with less experience, when the shot clock starts to wind down, your natural inclination is to panic a little bit. Your initial looks didn't quite pan out. You start to think, oh, I got to get a shot off, rather than thinking, what other looks do we have? Let's keep running what we have. Let's just worry about the shot when we get to it. Let's just find the best look we can. Now, number 11, Kanaya Cromartie at the line. Second free throw is up and good.
And I think you're absolutely right there. Just a matter of patience. Keep running your offense.
Driving layup.
Nicola with the cut to the basket. The little Euro step. Working away around, up with the right hand and in. Ties it up at 30 apiece.
There we go, early offense.
There you go. First couple of looks, and that's the thing with a lot of coaches. I mean, I'd say most coaches. You have a couple of looks you do right away, and you obviously love to see it work right off the bat. But the good sign of it, a sign of a great team, or a sign of a team that has patience and maturity, is a team that sees that, doesn't work. All right, let's try something else. Let's work with it. Let's see what they are giving us. And that went out of bounds and stays with the Bishops.
And I'd expect to see as the game goes on, Coach Schroeder, she's going to see the same thing. They're going to have a wrinkle somewhere that they're going to put in there later in the shot clock.
Spin move, jump shot, rattles in for number 23, Corinthian Williams. Love the move and love the no hesitation on the shot. She still had a defender in her face, but able to knock it down. Camden for three. Off the back of the rim, no good. Heggie for rebound. McRolla for three. Rattles out, no good. I believe they're going to call a push off on Heggie.
Heggie. 14th foul, second personal.
So it'll be her second foul of the game. And it puts the Bishops back in the bonus. Double team at the top of the key. Knights need to get back. Layup rattles in for number 14, Arena Harris. Arena Harris is a name we haven't said a whole lot so far today, but making a great play right there.
No, the Bishops, they're a very similar team to the Knights. They have a lot of athletes on the floor. They've brought someone off the bench, and anybody can score at any time. It's becoming obvious.
Absolutely, as some substitutions for both sides, including number 4, Nadia Simmons for North Carolina Wesleyan, as well as number 24, Naisha Best. And for Southern Virginia, you have J.D. O'Bray. First free throw for Schmalbeck is good. Second free throw, no good for Schmalbeck. Rebounded by O'Bray. And I believe it was also Newman who just checked in. Savoon for three. That falls. We haven't seen a whole lot of outside shooting from both of these teams so far today. Just a couple have fallen, including one for Savoon just then, and earlier in the game with Heggie. That was tipped on the way up.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the Bishops have made a three-pointer yet this game.
They did attempt one at the end of the first quarter that didn't quite make it there. That three-pointer no good from Newman. Rebounded by Cromartie. Coaches for Southern Virginia weren't necessarily happy with that one, as they thought that Cromartie went over the back. And that basket will count with the foul. And that is a second foul called on O'Bray. It forces, or it sends number 4, Nadia Simmons, to the line.
Sorry about that. Number 1, J.D. O'Brien, second personal, 15th foul.
Got some substitutions for both teams once again, including number 3, John A. Goddard for North Carolina Wesleyan, and for Southern Virginia, number 11, Abigail Snyder, which is 59 seconds left in this first half. Free throw is good. Seeing some more full court pressure now from North Carolina Wesleyan. O'Brien cuts the basket, taken away by Bell. Good recovery there from Best. About 12 seconds separating the shot and game clock. That shot no good, rebounded by Schmalbeck, taken right back by Harrison. Here's a 3. That's good for Bell. Well, if they hadn't made a 3-pointer at that point, they just made one now to extend the lead to 6. Seven seconds. Here's Savoon for 3 to end the half, and that is good.
Corner at the buzzer.
Brings it back
Maria
within
Savoon.
3 to end a high-scoring first half with North Carolina Wesleyan still leading 40-37.
Bishop Sporting
I want to talk about,
37.
before we take a break for halftime, I want to talk about the last defensive sequence for Southern Virginia that they just had, right? They were down by 3. They had gotten a rebound. It was knocked away. It was a situation where I'm sure they're going to talk about that in the locker room, where defensive rebounds, especially with a minute left to go in a half or in a game, you need to bring down defensive rebounds. You cannot give up offensive rebound opportunities and second chances, and that's exactly why. They end up getting great shots, like the three-pointer from Destiny Bell.
Yep, and that was just, very advantageous for them right there. She just stepped right into it, The Knights had the ball, got it knocked away. But one thing just to, back up what we talked about a little bit earlier was, then the Knights' last possession, they worked the clock down to one last shot, and were able to find a good open shot there at the buzzer that Savoon was able to knock down and close that gap back down to 3 going into the half.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that Newman had the ball with about 3 seconds left. She could have easily held the ball and taken that shot, but she made that extra pass to the corner of Savoon. Because, again, Newman's very capable. In fact, there's several players that are very capable. But she knew Savoon has a better shot, more open, kick it to her, get the shot up, and ended up working very well for them.
Yep, which brings them to within 3 at halftime, so 40-37, that's a pretty high-scoring game. It's been pretty well played, Honestly, I would like to see the referees let them play just a little bit more, open the game up a little bit. These are two good teams. Nothing's been dirty. Haven't been any tempers or anything. Just make sure the players decide this out on the floor.
Absolutely, I completely agree. And with that, we will take a short break before second half action commences here in the barn of Southern Virginia University. We will be right back. And we're back for the start of the second half between the Battling Bishops of North Carolina Wesleyan and your Southern Virginia University Knights. Right now the score stands 40-37 in favor of North Carolina Wesleyan. North Carolina Wesleyan really doing a great job at the end of that half, fighting for extra opportunities, getting some offensive rebounds, but the Knights able to end the half with the last second three from Mariah Savoon. And Colby, joined by Colby once again, my good friend. Colby, you and I were talking during halftime about some things that Southern Virginia needs to do offensively to keep things interesting and to maybe even take a more commanding lead in the second half. And the thing we talked about was start strong, finish strong. Every coach on earth says that in every sport that they coach, right? But it matches this game so well because both the first and second quarter, the Knights started off very well, advancing the ball down the floor, getting bodies down there, making great passes, and setting up high-quality shots. But as the quarter progressed, it wasn't happening as much, and things got sort of, I don't want to say lazy, but things got sort of disjointed, out of rhythm.
Complacent, maybe?
That's a very good way to put it. And so you got to finish strong in these quarters as well. And another thing we mentioned is that North Carolina Wesleyan, they tend to struggle in the third quarter. So can the Knights take advantage of that?
Yeah, you'd hope so. You think that, the Schroeders always make good adjustments at halftime. So, you mentioned the Bishops not being the greatest third period team. So I'd look for the Knights to come out, put the adjustments into play, and also look to, open up the three-point line a little bit more. Get Abby Snyder, Addie Newman, get them some open looks here to start the third quarter.
Exactly, because so far North Carolina Wesleyan has only attempted 2 3-pointers, making one of them. So they're not they're not right now a major three-point shooting team, or at least the Knights haven't given them those opportunities. Whereas the Knights, they tend to live more around the three-point line when they're not working with Olsen. They have a lot of good shooters, so utilize that strength. And Olsen, great pass from Heggie into the paint. A quick strike from the Knights. Advancing down the floor, and a great layup, strong layup from number 25, Charisma Harrison.
Harrison.
And a whistle blown. I believe there was an issue with the shot clock as it went off. We're going to have the team looking at it. It's reset to 30 seconds now. I just want to make sure that everything is good, and indeed it is. We're back underway. So right off the bat, like we said, both teams do a great job of starting off the quarter, advancing down the floor, getting good looks, cuts to the basket, and it looks like good, clean basketball, but neither team's been really able to maintain that very well as the quarter goes on.
No, the Knights got exactly what they wanted, but I would say they probably missed something on defense, gave up the layup, but then, here we go, Courtney Olsen with the second bucket of the half and the foul.
And I love seeing her attacking the basket once again. She had a couple of fouls early in the first half, and so it made her a little bit hesitant, but she's attacking the rim, getting to the free throw line, and knocking that one down and tying it back up at 42 apiece.
And with her being active down low, getting those buckets, it's going to work both ways. It's going to open up the three-point line as they spend more, time and give her more attention down low. It's going to open up the outside shooting.
And here's an adjustment from Southern Virginia defensively. They're applying more full court pressure on the Bishops than they did in the first half. And that's a rebound and up and in for Harrison once again, getting her second basket of the half. So like you said, Colby, they're making adjustments defensively, and a difficult shot from Newman at the bottom of the rim. Great basket, or great pass from Olsen, nearly taken away by Camden. And Harrison doing a great job maintaining composure and maintaining possession of the ball. So tied back up at 44. Great cut to the basket, up and under number 4, Nadia Simmons, leading scorer on this team, making it look easy. Olsen once again up with the right hand and in. Looks like the Knights are easing off the full court pressure, opting more for half-court defense. I think they kind of realize that if the game is sped up a little bit, North Carolina Wesleyan likes that, and they operate a little bit better that way, so trying to make them operate more of a slower pace. And falling to the floor is Harrison. They're going to call the foul on Olsen. That's her third. And checking in for the Bishops, number 23, Corinthian Williams.
Yeah, it looks like their feet got tangled there, and unfortunately, the refs kind of are forced into making some sort of a call there with both players hitting the floor.
The shot clock had not started yet when the ball was inbounded. And you're right, whenever players, lock feet and they both fall to the floor and there's no whistle call, it's almost like a darned if you do, darned if you don't type of situation, right? If you don't call a foul, someone's going to say, well, someone fell to the floor, obviously something happened. Or if they do fall and it was a slip, they'll say, oh, it was a slip. It's a no-win situation.
It's a no-win situation. It's especially tough there, where that's Courtney Olsen's third foul. If it was her first foul, big deal, third quarter. But third foul, and Coach Schroeder's going to gamble a little bit here and leave her on the floor.
And the step-back jumper from Best. Fantastic shot. And you mentioned it being her third foul, and the fact that Olsen has started out the second half so well. Several baskets in a row. Shot clock winding down for the Knights. Pass it in to Snyder, somehow over 2 defenders. Quick turnaround jumper.
That's one good thing about Abby. She has such a quick release. She can get that shot up in a lot of traffic.
That's something you see from natural scorers. They know how fast they need to get rid of the ball in any given situation. Up with the right hand and in through 2 defenders was Nadia Simmons. We've seen a lot of shots like that where they're not necessarily the highest quality shots here draped with defenders, but they're still falling for both teams.
No, the first 3.5 minutes here have been quite the offensive feast so far.
Checking in for the Knights is Alyssa McRolla, number 25, and for North Carolina Wesleyan, number 22, Destiny Bell. Bell had that three-pointer just before the final seconds of the first half. The one three-pointer, foul on the floor on Simmons. There's a third-team foul, but that is Simmons' first. So it stays with the Knights, 22 seconds left on the shot clock. Snyder for 3. That is up and good.
Corner, Abigail Snyder.
You can tell after that shot that she is feeling it. She put both hands up, both with 3 fingers up.
Out of bounds.
They're going to say out of bounds. They're going to say that Bell dribbled out of bounds on the baseline. Timeout called by North Carolina Wesleyan. Again, patterns holding up so far. Both teams starting off very well offensively. And
yeah, these first 4 minutes of the second half, you've seen, NC Wesleyan, they've been able to run their sets pretty well. Southern Virginia been running their sets. Some good scoring early by Courtney Olson. Has 3 buckets. Abby Snyder has 5 points, and then Courtney Olson also has the assist, where she was able to find Addie Newman cutting to the hoop for an easy bucket. So we got a timeout here on the floor.
And apologize, folks, some technical difficulties here on my end. But indeed, yes, just if you're into offensive basketball, which to an extent I am, I love defense. Obviously, defense shows that you're passionate about the game, and obviously that's the more physical part and more difficult part of the game. But if you love offensive basketball, this game's been one for you. I mean, how else can we really say it, honestly? A lot of great shots being made, a lot of great passing plays. You just love to see it.
There's been a good mix of inside out, also high-low play, and then, of course, Abby Snyder hitting that three-pointer. We talked about her release. She curled around the screen right there, was able to catch the ball in stride and get that shot up in a hurry.
And the ball is back in Snyder's hands. For a brief second, McRolla was open in the paint. Olson spinning around, puts up a wild shot off the backboard, no good. Corner 3 for Bell. High arching shot, nails it. Sloppy pass, somehow recovered by Alyssa McRolla. Talk about awareness. And a travel called on Olson. Didn't feel like she had enough time to really make any steps when she got the ball. She released it from her hand so quickly.
It looked like she just jump stopped, unless he thought she caught it with both feet on the ground and then did a little jump stop. But I'm not sure. That didn't look like anything.
Great spin move, blocked. Recovered by Newman. They're going to say travel.
Again, referee with a quick whistle there. You've got a loose ball with Addie Newman going to the ground. And they quickly whistle her for a travel rather than just a loose ball with a little battle there going on.
Yeah, I honestly think that's exactly what it was, is that she was battling with a defender to try, or I guess at that point she was the defender, trying to wrestle it away and was knocked to the ground, or at least knocked it away to the ground. But that's 2 straight times where the Knights have had the ball, and it's resulted in a travel.
Usually when a travel happens, you can see it.
Right.
And it catches your eye, like something just isn't quite right there. But both of those last 2 calls, I didn't get that feeling that something wasn't quite right there.
Right, the vast majority of times.
Extra movement there that didn't belong.
Right, it usually happens when someone changes their pivot foot and it looks awkward, or someone's dribbling the lane and tries to pass it out but realizes that lane is blocked. So they hesitate a little bit. But like you said, I mean, with Courtney Olson up there, it looked like she caught the ball, jump stopped, immediately passed it to the corner. And then the other time, Newman just falling to the floor fighting for possession and called for travel as well.
And then that, begs the question, too, where we had Courtney Olson pick up her 3rd foul when feet got tangled. If Addie Newman ended up on the floor, well, why did she end up on the floor? Were feet tangled, so, if we're going to, and not to, the refs are doing a good job here today.
Right.
It was just one of those things where the coaches are scratching their heads a little bit as well.
It kind of goes back to the conversation we were having earlier about, darned if you do, darned if you don't, right? An easy bucket there for Kanaya Cromartie. Schmalbeck dribbles baseline, wanted the three-pointer. Snyder for 3, rattles out, no good. So same thing with Newman on the other side. She falls down the rebound. Olson falls to the ground, grimaces at first, but it seems like she is okay. It looked like that time Kamari just kind of lost her balance. Knocked out of bounds. I believe that was Simmons. Substitution for the Knights in number 10, Emma Camden.
Yeah, it's not often that you see back-to-back travel calls on a rebound where the players just get the ball and end up on the ground, but that's what we had here.
As a good friend of mine would always say, you see the oddest things when you commentate. You'll see things you've never seen before, even if you've watched sports your entire life. They're calling an offensive foul on Schmalbeck. She was going to the rim.
We saw Abby Snyder here take a tumble. I didn't see what precipitated that, but talk about seeing the oddest thing. She did a full somersault here in the corner.
I believe I saw a little bit of that where she was trying to cut to the corner and got her feet tangled with the defender, and you're all right, did pretty much a somersault trying to make sure she didn't just flop onto the court. And the and one called on Snyder.
Foul called on Agnes Snyder.
And that's Naisha Best.
Basketball best is good.
With the up and under on Abby Snyder, she scores the bucket and gets the foul on Abby. She'll be at the line, shooting one, looking to complete the three-point play.
First free throw is up, and no good. Rebounded by McRolla. McRolla, wild shot, tries to spin it in. She'll get fouled by number 23, Corinthian Williams.
Fouls on Corinthia Williams. Third personal. At the line.
So it'll send McRolla to the line. First free throw rattles out. Both teams struggling today from the free throw line. It's been rare to see a player knock down both free throws in a row. That time is good for McRolla.
Yeah, the Knights seem to shoot the ball pretty well from the free throw line on Wednesday afternoon against Pfeiffer. But that's going to become more and more critical as this game goes on. Can't leave those points out there.
I mean, in a game like this where it's been neck and neck the entire time, leads changing every so often, every little thing counts. Every little play that you can possibly make makes a big difference in the end. Had to reset the shot clock as Heggie comes in for McRolla for Southern Virginia. So it stays with the Bishops. Pass was off the back of Newman. Heggie advances to Savoon. Transition three is good. A lot of coaches, when they see a transition three, they aren't necessarily happy to see it, but when Savoon knocks it down, you kind of give it a little bit of a break.
You gotta like the confidence there of the freshman to pull up there on that break and just knock that three-pointer down.
The step back jumper, no good, but rebounded by Harrison. That jumper also no good. Rebounded by Olsen. That's another play that'll make our coach's hair turn white, and that's a great shot from Camden. Now I was talking about the play where Harrison was able to shoot it and get her own rebound. Coaches hate to see that, but Camden,
Maria Savoon coming down to the paint and trying to post up, calling for the ball. She's feeling it.
I'm still reeling on Camden's shot. I mean, off balance, leaning to the right. Tying it back up at 57. Here's a three. No good. Rebounded by Newman.
Long three by Addie Newman off. We're going to have a jump ball here. Emma Camden, she's in there battling as always for the rebound. It's going to go over to the battling Bishops here. We've got 57-57 tied ball game with 2 minutes and 14 seconds left here in the third period. Deanna Adams will bring the ball up for the battling Bishops. Moves it over to the right wing. So Raina Harris, she pushes the ball over to Best. Best with the long two, it's off. Emma Camden battling, and that's going to go off. Emma is going to remain with the battling Bishops. Bishops inbound. Ball comes into Deanna Adams. Back out to Harris. Harris drives in, puts up a long two. That's off as well with the rebound. Coming down to Maria Savoon. She pushes to Newman, to Heggie. Heggie leaves it for Emma Camden. Camden, she gets fouled hard. Referees are going to conference here, determine whether they're going to give her 2 free throws or not.
Shooting 2. Ball situation.
The foul's going to be on number 11,
Emma Camden at the
Carmichael.
line, shooting 2.
And we're in the bonus here, so Emma Camden will shoot 2 free throws here, looking to give the Lady Knights a lead here with 1.5 minutes left in the third period. She knocked down the first one. And Emma Camden knocks down both free throws to give the Knights a 2-point lead. Adams brings the ball up to the front court. Moves the ball over. On the left wing, that's Harris. Harris dribbles around. She's guarded by Camden. Back up top to Adams. Over to Bell now. And she's stripped by Addie Newman, or Emma Camden rather. Ball's knocked out of bounds. The other Lady Knights want a foul there, but the referee's just going to say that ball is off the Bishops, and Lady Knights will be set to inbound the ball here underneath the basket. Presley Hoagie up top, Addie Newman, Maria Savoon for 3. A little long. Harrison comes down with the rebound. 50 seconds left in this third quarter. Adams brings the ball to the front court. Moves it over, that's Harrison. Harrison leaves it for Harris. Bell now with the ball on the left wing, guarded by Savoon. Crosses over, puts up a running one-hander. And there's going to be a foul called on Savoon there. Savoon's going to pick up the foul there, and that means Bell's going to be at the line shooting 2. She hits the first one. One more remaining, looking to tie the score with 33 seconds left in this third quarter. And Bell knocks down both. She's going to come out of the game. And Simmons is going to check in for her for this last 30 seconds. Knights push the ball up. Olsen with the ball in the left corner. Back out top to Heggie. Savoon comes and picks it up. She swings it to Newman. Newman working on Adams. She passes the ball back up top. That's Olsen. Wide open 3 for Camden. A little long. Savoon and Simmons battle for the rebound. And that ball is going to stay with the Knights here. So the Lady Knights are going to have an opportunity to run a play to end the third period with an open shot, hopefully, and go into the fourth quarter looking to hold a lead here. Presley Heggie will inbound the ball. Gets it into Olsen. Back up top to Heggie. And that ball is blocked, and they're going to call a foul. It's going to be a foul on Harrison. So Hegge's going to get 2 free throws here. An opportunity to give the Knights the lead here with 4 seconds remaining in the third period. First one's up and good for Hegge. And the second one also good. So the Knights up by 2. Adam crosses half court, puts it up off the front of the rim. And the Lady Knights of Southern Virginia are going to take a 2-point lead into the final period against the battling Bishops of North Carolina Wesleyan. So a well-played third period here by both squads. The Knights outscoring the battling Bishops by a total of 24-19 there in that third quarter. As we mentioned there, we expect to see the Knights make some adjustments there at halftime, and they have, a couple more three-pointers there. Also opened up the game in the paint a little bit. Scored quite a few more points in the paint there that third quarter. Also were able to pick it up on defense and outscore the battling Bishops by 5 in that quarter. Look to see now what final adjustments can be made heading into this fourth quarter. Battling Bishops, here on the road, they're going to be happy with the position that they're in here, hanging close, down by only 2 points heading into the final period. Against the team that's picked to finish just ahead of them in the conference, the Lady Knights of Southern Virginia. Of course, the Lady Knights are the defending conference champions, and they're not looking to let go of that at all. They, are 1 game behind in the standings, but this is only the 6th game of the conference schedule for the Lady Knights. Battling Bishops, they'll open the quarter here with possession of the ball. They'll get that into Adams. She's guarded by Camden. Brings the ball to the left-hand side here. She gets Simmons up top, guarded by Hegge. Hegge with the block. Courtney Olson pulls down the rebound and gets ahead to Emma Camden. Emma hits the cutting Newman, and she gets her shot blocked, and the battling Bishops come away with the ball. That's Serena Harris pushing the ball to the forecourt for the Bishops. Harrison now drives, puts the ball into the body of Courtney Olson, but they're going to give the foul to Presley Hegge there, and that's going to be 2 shots for Harrison.
Third personal at the line, shooting 2 will be Harrison.
Harrison getting ready for the first. It's up and a little long. And now she's ready for the second. And she hits that one, so she cuts the Knights' lead in half. Back to 1. Here's Abby Snyder bringing the ball into the forecourt. She's got Hegge up top. Over on the left wing to Olson. Oh, Newman tries to hit Olson, and Olson ends up on her back in the paint. There's no call by the referees. Simmons rushes. She misses a shot, gets her own rebound, goes back up, hits the shot. They're going to call her for the foul.
Southern Virginia.
Or are they calling Addie Newman for the foul, I guess. This basket's good, so Simmons is going to have a free throw when we come back, but right now we have a timeout on the floor with the battling Bishops of North Carolina Wesleyan taking the lead over the Knights, 62-61, with just 55 seconds gone in this fourth quarter. Well, welcome back. Dawson Weidrich had to step away there for just a moment.
Yeah, I apologize for that. Thank you so much for having me back on so soon. Again, it's been an exciting game. Had to step away for just a moment. But, yeah, like you said, confusing series of events just there as there's a foul called on Newman, her first of the game. And like you said, the Bishops taking the lead 62-61 and a chance to improve their lead with just over 9 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. And at the free throw line will be the leading scorer for the Battling Bishops on the year, number 4, Nadia Simmons.
You know, an unfortunate sequence of events there where you had Courtney Olson trying to post up down in the paint on the offensive end, and she ends up on her back. Addie Newman tries to feed her, and that's where the Bishops come away with the ball and head the other way, and no call. But now here we have an opportunity for a three-point play here by Simmons.
And the free throw is up, off the rim, no good. Rebounded by number 25, Harrison. Up and rattles in for Simmons. So again, second chance opportunities, we talked about that. And real quick, folks who are watching at home, give a big round of applause for Colby Kemp here. It's not easy to handle broadcasting on your own as far as commentating is concerned. I've done it a number of times. So give him a round of applause. Much appreciated for that. Driving the lane is Snyder. And getting fouled on the way up, I believe, by Simmons. Indeed, it will be called on Simmons.
You're too kind, Dawson. All in a day's work. All in a day's work. We're always ready for whatever's thrown at us, right?
Exactly. That's what the training is for. So here's Snyder going to the line. First free throw rattles in and good. Second free throw for Snyder is good. Brings it back within one. And we're seeing, you probably pointed this out, Colby, is that North Carolina Wesleyan has a player bailing, going all the way further back to try to force Southern Virginia to transition back defensively very quickly. Great step from Newman, and another missed layup for Newman. She's had several opportunities like that where she's not able to capitalize. Corner three is up, no good. That shot was from Arena Harris. Here's Olson, rattles off the rim, no good. So it's two straight possessions where the Knights have a good look at the basket. That shot just short from Heggie, rebounded by Heggie.
Also, Abby Snyder getting in the mix there to keep that ball alive.
It feels like just in the past two possessions for both teams, it's just people seem confused. I'm going to say that Olsen stepped out of bounds before she attempted the dribble drive. But I think you know what I mean, Colby, is that both teams look just a little out of it, a little confused as to what's going on, especially in that possession where people were just kind of standing around a little bit.
Saw a couple things in both possessions there that we haven't really seen the entire game to this point. So just be interesting, you know, the Knights, see if they can weather that little storm there that the Bishops brought at them that first minute, you know, and now regain their composure and battle back here.
Shot clock now at 13. Nearly stripped away by Snyder, but it goes out of bounds. Got some substitutions for North Carolina Wesleyan, including number 24, Naisha Best, and number 23, Corinthian Williams. And for Southern Virginia, checking in is Mariah Savoon. And knocked away by Heggie. There was an odd pass there. I'm surprised that Simmons wasn't called for a travel. She stepped backwards a little bit to try to get a better angle. Camden for three. Off the right side, no good. Reeled in by Snyder. Like you said, Snyder getting in there, doing the dirty work. Olsen working towards the basket, up with the right hand and in. And the Knights have the lead once again.
She realized she had a height mismatch there and went right up and over Simmons there. Strong move there by Courtney.
And you love that awareness from players like that. They realize, hey, I have an opportunity here. Clear out, let me work a little bit. Here's the jumper. Once again, the Knights almost giving up a rebound to the shooter, that being Corinthian Williams. Snyder for three. Off the front of the rim, rebounded by Olsen. Back up with the right hand, no good, too strong. Nearly rebounded by Snyder. Again, that's happened a handful of times where the Bishops shoot a shot and the shooter at least gets close to getting the rebound. And you can hear the frustration on Southern Virginia's side saying, how is that happening? That's not supposed to happen. You do box out drills for a reason.
Yeah, that's very basic, right? Whoever's there defending the shot, you've got to box out that shooter.
And that's something that's trained out of you from the time you start Little League basketball is you can't just watch the ball go to the rim. You have to put a body on somebody. Great pass from Best. My goodness, finding Cromartie.
I'd say that was a good job there by Courtney Olson there, making sure she didn't pick up her 4th foul on that play right there.
Snyder gets it to Camden, who gets it to Heggie. Keeps her composure and shoots it over the top of Destiny Bell.
Back up on top.
I love that. Heggie was at the rim. She had a defender on her, but she realized I have a height advantage, kind of like what Olsen did. Pulled it up, shot it, no problem. Going baseline, kicks it out to the outside. 3, no good, rebounded by Camden. Knights with a 1-point lead. Heggie for 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Cromartie. That pass is a little bit too far for Raina Harris. I mentioned before how North Carolina Wesleyan gets a player down the floor. That's usually Raina Harris making her way down the floor, especially to that far corner, so that they can just get a quick pass down the floor, let everybody else recover so they can avoid any sort of full court pressure.
Yeah, that time kind of came back to bite them a little bit there as that ball went out of bounds. Back to the Knights. We got Alyssa McCullough checking in here.
Trying to get it into the paint to Newman. Easily taken away by Williams. And fouled on the way up by Newman is number 24, Best. Naisha Best is trying to get a shot off. That's Newman's 2nd foul.
Second personal.
So Best has a chance to
13th foul.
take back the lead for North Carolina Wesleyan. First free throw is no good. Second free throw is also no good, but rebounded and fouled on the shot is number 23, Corinthian Williams.
Foul called on Higgy.
Foul's called on Heggie. That is her 4th foul of the game.
Looks like that ball came down, somehow just went through the hands of Heggie and off her head, and that's what allowed the player for North Carolina Wesleyan to pick that ball up.
Williams is slow to get up. I think they said that Heggie had someone made contact with her head, and they're trying to make sure that she is okay after the contact. As she makes her way to the bench. Good to see that she is okay. So after 2 missed free throws from North Carolina Wesleyan, which should kind of bail you out of that foul situation, you're right back there after giving up a rebound.
Yep. And now we'll see what Williams can do here with her opportunities at the line. We got Harrison set to check back in for the Bishops as well.
First free throw is good. And you know, I mentioned at the beginning of this game where when Southern Virginia faced off against Pfeiffer on Wednesday, there were a lot of categories statistically that they did not win as that second free throw goes in. But the main one that Southern Virginia won statistically was rebounding. Whereas today, it's kind of in a weird situation with that. You have seen some spurts of the Knights getting solid rebounds, but you've seen some plays that the Knights have allowed that are just very uncharacteristic, allowing a lot of offensive boards, sometimes offensive boards that just shouldn't happen, especially for a team that's as experienced or as good of a team as Southern Virginia is. Up with the right hand from McRolla, rolls out. McRolla tries to save it. but steps out of bounds.
That's also we talked about, though, that this is the Battling Bishops. It's a squad, though, that they can match Southern Virginia's height. They can match their athleticism,
Right.
And so they've been able to close that gap on the rebounding, where our stats aren't really working, so we don't know exactly where that rebounding battle falls, but, the Bishops have been able to hold their ground, hold their own in that category.
Crazy shot there, attempted by number 14, Arena Harris. And that one taken away by Bell, easy takeaway. And she loses control of the ball, it goes out of bounds. Snyder checking in, that reminds me of something that we noticed in the game that the Knights had against Pfeiffer, is that she was one of the leaders in teams in minutes played, right? 30 minutes, and that's interesting to see as, again, her being a freshman, her minutes have kind of been staggering just due to a lot of other issues. She's had quality time, but due to some injury things and things of the like, it's kind of gone back and forth. But, of course, the coach is realizing that, hey, she's got a lot to offer, especially in this game. She's made a lot of quality plays. Including that right there.
Possession to the Knights.
Right there, you mentioned it. She misses the three-pointer, but she doesn't put her head down. She hustles back in transition and got right on top of that ball. That was as good a block as you'll see.
And then the jump ball getting possession back to the Knights. I mean, you're not going to see a statistic like that. There's not a statistic saying that in basketball, but that's a play that you see on film and realize, yeah, that can be a game changer right there.
Absolutely.
Newman with the layup opportunity knocks it down.
And now here we are, under 3 minutes. It's just going to be a battle of who can execute best.
And how much are fouls going to be a factor in these last couple of minutes, as anyone who knows basketball knows the last 2.5 minutes or last 2 minutes can last a half hour in basketball. Stripped away by Heggie, but recovered and shot and made by Charisma Harrison. Again, second chance opportunities have been a big factor. Here's the corner. No good for Newman. Rebounded by Charisma Harrison. As he fought for, Newman gets on the ground. They're going to call a jump ball, but Coach Schroeder is trying to call a timeout as soon as Newman got possession. Camden will check in for Savoon. Trying to make sure that we have the correct shot clock there. The coach is trying to say that it doesn't reset the shot clock, I believe. What a crazy shot, rebounded by Cromartie. Gets it up and in with the foul. A strong play from Cromartie.
Foul called on Snyder.
And that is Snyder's third foul.
Third personal. Basket counts.
Just under 2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter as Cromartie's a chance to add to the three-point lead. Up and no good. Heggie advances it to Newman. Great catch from Newman. Kicks it out. McGrola, or Olsen, excuse me. She opted to pass it to Snyder at the last second, and it ends up getting knocked out of bounds on Snyder.
Yep, so the Knights are going to have to buckle down here and play another good possession of defense here.
I mean, Olsen had the great pump fake, and Cromartie went flying by, and Cromartie's the only player defensively, except for, of course, Harrison, that can measure up to Olsen's height defensively. Heggie in the paint, fouled hard by Cromartie.
Foul on Cromartie.
And so it'll send Heggie to the line.
At the line, shooting two will be Heggie.
That's only Cromartie's second foul. First free throw is no good off the back of the rim. Second free throw up and good. Brings it back within 2. Approaching just 1 minute left to play. They call a late whistle. A late foul on Olsen. They let the play out for about
Foul on Olsen.
1 or 2 seconds before they blew the whistle, and that's her 4th foul.
Good eye, Earl Martin.
And puts Cromartie at the line for 2 free throws as well. That's the toughest thing about that right there. You know, you play defense down to inside 10 seconds on the shot clock.
First free throw, fortunately for the Knights, is no good. Second free throw is up and good. Makes it a 3-point lead. Olsen pump fake. They're gonna call travel on Olsen. She's not quite sure exactly what she did. She's very frustrated after that call. She had both Harrison and Cromartie draped all over her after she dribbled to the basket. Here's the outside 3. That's good for Best. Makes it a 6-point lead, just under 30 seconds remaining. That could very well be a dagger.
Good shot. She's the one player, I believe, for NC Wesleyan that's knocked down any threes today.
It's been both Best and Bell today that have knocked down the threes for North Carolina Wesleyan. But you're right, they have been very rare, far and few in between for them. But that coming at a very opportune time, because now, with 30 seconds left, right now, Olsen's a little frustrated. She's got the fouls, right? And obviously, North Carolina Wesleyan knows they're going to go to her. They're basically crashing down with Harrison and Cromartie, 2 of their tallest defenders, onto her to try to frustrate her even further. Now on the floor, you have Snyder, great outside shooter. You have Newman, who can very well make threes. Heggie is proven capable. Camden as well. So you have shooters all over the floor. So now what you want to try to do is, if you do get it to Olsen, have her go down to the basket, kick it out to an outside shooter, because again, you need 2 threes to at least tie it up right now.
It's a 2-possession game at this point, you know, and that's with 2 3-pointers. You know, if you get any 2-point buckets, it's a 3-possession game.
Right.
You know, and then you're going to have to foul. You know, you're inside 30 seconds, and you know, just to reset, the Knights have 2 timeouts remaining after this one. They're in the bonus, so the Bishops are going to be shooting 2 free throws, you know, with each foul here. So
you have to get high-quality outside shots, and you have to get them fast.
Yes.
Olsen goes up with the right hand, no good. Rebounded by Cromartie and fouled immediately. I believe they're going to call that on Olsen. And in her place will come Eve Schmalbeck. I tell you what, that was some great defense on the perimeter by North Carolina Wesleyan. They knew, hey, they got these outside shooters. They crashed in on Snyder very hard when they passed it to her, and so Cromartie will go to the line. First free throw up and no good. Second free throw up and in, makes it a 7-point game. Timeout once again by the Knights. So now, like you're saying it was before, now it's a 3-possession game.
Yep.
Now you have to get down the floor quickly. You have to make some backside screens. You have to get somebody open. You have to select a shooter, make a specific play for them, get some good screens, and you just have to have everything go right for you these next 21.4 seconds.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility by
Right.
any means. NC Wesleyan, they're not a great free throw shooting team.
Right.
They've had plenty of misses here, but right now you don't have time for 5 or 6 shots. You're gonna have to shoot 3 for 3 here to finish this ball game and get some help from the Bishops by missing some free throws.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to have your best inbound plays that you have in your repertoire, and you have to use them now. So Snyder will inbound it here. And it's all guards on the floor for the Knights, basically. Trying to get to Snyder in the corner. She puts up a desperate 3 off the front of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Heggie. Heggie tries to go up with it, blocked by Cromartie. So 10 seconds left. They're going to call the foul on Camden. I believe that will send Simmons to the line. So it's about the type of play that you would want to call. Try to get to one of your better shooters in the corner, right? Just doesn't work out for you in the end. Coach Schroeder frustrated about something with the refs trying to communicate.
Remind everyone, next home contest in Greensboro on Tuesday. Yeah. January 18th.
Not sure exactly what the result of that conversation was. But at least for the moment, it seems like both sides are slightly appeased by the end of it. First free throw for Simmons is good.
I'd say slightly probably would be as far as I'd want to go with the level of appeasement.
To put it lightly, we'll say. Second free throw is good for Simmons. And so as the clock winds down, looks at the Knights will fall to the battling Bishops of North Carolina Wesleyan. They'll go to 4-2 in conference play. The 3 made by Heggie with just over a second left to go. And the North Carolina Wesleyan battling Bishops will improve to 4-1 in conference play. And the next time the Knights will play will be at Salem College on January 10th on Tuesday in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That'll be the next time they're in action. And for North Carolina Wesleyan, they'll be playing Meredith College on Tuesday the 10th as well. A well-thought game overall for both these teams. It wasn't the prettiest thing in the world. We can be honest with that. There was a lot of sloppiness, a lot of fouls called, a lot of things that, a lot of moments where we just kind of looked at it as like, that just doesn't look right sometimes. But regardless, you cannot doubt the effort on both sides from both these teams today, as they both brought at least a solid effort despite some of the sloppiness.
Yeah. No, the effort was there by both teams. A little bit of execution lacking on Southern Virginia's part. I'm sure NC Wesleyan, they'll look at it and say they could have been better in certain areas too. And we touched on this a little bit. Maybe a little unlucky for the Knights to have this game at home without the students being here. We can't. It's a nice home court advantage here at the barn. And to play the number 3 seed in the conference, here without students on campus, I'd like to think the last 2-3 minutes might have been a little bit different had we had some noise here in the barn.
I mean, home court, home field advantage, whatever you want to call it, whatever sport, it is real. It absolutely is real. In football, you call it the 12th man. Basketball, you can call it the 6th man, a 6-1, whatever. It's a real thing. It impacts the game in many ways that maybe sometimes people on the outside don't quite notice. And you're absolutely right. That's probably one thing that definitely would have helped Southern Virginia in this one.
It may not have helped Southern Virginia play better, but it might have hurt North Carolina Wesleyan trying to have to play with, 200 students here voicing their support for the Lady Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very, very true. And we want to once again thank you so much for tuning in to another presentation of Southern Virginia Athletics here on Knights Broadcasting. And before we go, if you would like to partner with SVU Athletics or promote your business on campus, much like Straws, Drinks, and Eats did here for today's game, once again, go check them out here in Buena Vista, Virginia, Straws, Drinks, and Eats. But if you want to partner with SVU Athletics for that, please contact Brett Schroeder at brett.schroeder@svu.edu. That is brett.schroeder@svu.edu. Once again, I'm Dawson Weeder, joined by my good friend Colby Kemp. We say so long, God bless, and go Knights.